great nourishment of just being together, just simply being together, just joining in a field of openness and awe and wonder, a field of love, of light, dropping into the field of presence, the connection to source, and being here just as you are. Mm. Nothing in front of you, nothing behind you. Just this moment here now, just opening to the presence of the eternal God and glory. That the sense of presence is the presence of God, of love, of wholeness. Mm. That as we rest as a field of openness, we are available to grace, available to the frequencies, upgrades and recalibrations. We're available to open to a deeper knowing of the oneself, a deeper knowing of the true essence nature, and a deeper opening to the flow of intelligence, the consciousness that we are. There's nothing to understand. Somehow there's an incredible understanding that comes as we just drop into the field of presence. It's like it all just suddenly makes sense. And yet you can't put words to it. You can't explain it. But there's a felt sense of alignment, a felt recognition that everything is okay. Just this moment, just as it is. We can allow the joy and the happiness that is without cause to just circulate through our system, through our cells. Let that joy and happiness just circulate through our systems. A contentment, a simple knowing. It doesn't need anything else other than just this deep, nourishing sense of being. And as we nourish the sense of being, that nourishment brings more nourishment, a more refined elixir that we drink in, that refines the nervous system and brings us deeper into the recognition of our true essence nature as the silent being. Being the unmoving, unchanging, and having the natural capacity to be aware and look upon the moving, changing landscape. that we open to discover what true power is. That power isn't something to be wielded over or to try to harness from the external. That true power is to be grounded, rooted in the still, silent presence and open to this frequency of love, of wholeness, of God and glory. When we are being nourished here, nothing else is needed. Just to confirm this within your innermost sense of being, just to confirm that the being needs nothing but its own beingness. That we don't need to answer the questions that the mind comes forth with about how to live this or what to do next or how to hold on to this, because answering those questions would only bring a sense of appeasement or explanation or instruction to the mind that isn't actually pointing to the true reality. Because when we are resting here in the true essence nature, we don't need to know how, because everything is being taken care of. The intelligence itself knows and is taking care of everything. It's about opening to the landscape of our own consciousness so that we're directly experiencing a fuller capacity of our own self, our own beingness, our own wholeness. That we realize that mind, body, conditioning, protection is just a small part of what we are, of who we are. And so as we rest here and open, we discover the great glorious truth. So just to notice, where are you? What is happening now? In the resting, just receiving yourself, opening to the fullness of yourself. Nowhere to get to, nothing to understand, nothing to create, achieve, or attain in the way of doing something. But just by resting and truly, deeply relaxing, that relaxation itself is a softening into realms of our very own being that we are not necessarily, ordinarily accessing. But it's all here. The fullness of what we are is all here and all available always. And as we rest deeply, relax, soften, and just be here. And being here in this deep relaxation is about being here with no agenda or not trying to create any kind of atmosphere or experience. but just softening in such a way that every single fiber and cell and thread and nuance of your being relaxes and just rests here and receives the infusion of frequencies, of light, of intelligence into your own consciousness, that you open to the wideness and the infinite expandedness of just more of yourself. You're not getting something from outside of you. It's just opening to more of the fullness of yourself. It's incredible to notice just how it feels to truly relax, to truly rest, to not so much be lying on the sofa, checking your emails or scrolling on your phone and thinking that you're resting, not even reading a book or watching something, but truly just resting, just like dropping into a deeper version of yourself, dropping out of the mind, body, and the experiencing just into the deep presence field that's awake and aware, just accessing the fullness of yourself. Just with a curiosity, with wonder and awe, just to wonder, well, what am I in my fullness? What is actually here, available in this field of infinite possibility? What is it to be living the fullness? What is it to allow the glory to take up residence in my heart and to be expressed fully on the surface of life? What is it to live in a field of miracles and wonder? What is possible when I stop even trying to imagine in limitation and I open to the grace and glory of how the divine wants to live through me, animate me, live through this instrument? What is possible in this life? What is true surrender? Knowing that I cannot do surrender, can I open to the flow of surrender and be carried into the river of grace and glory that is rushing towards the ocean of bliss? Can I just be carried in this life? Can I realize that I'm already being carried and that all I actually need open to is a kind of watching, observing? I don't really actually need to be involved on the level of controlling and protecting. That if I can open to allow everything that's happening to be included, then I open to the unified field that I am. I open to the unity consciousness that I am, the intelligence of that which knows oneness at an essence level. What is it to be the fullness of myself as a unified field? And just to open in wonder and awe and absolute wild curiosity, intrepid, courageous discovery of what this life is really all about. Mm. Just to notice what is being noticed in your inner landscape of consciousness. What is happening now? And to include everything. It's as if taking a little awareness inventory, just looking around, just feeling around, not trying to change anything or hold on to anything, understand or analyze anything, just to be awake to the fullness of yourself, just to be awake to the full, relaxed version of yourself here now. Just notice if there's any obvious tension. Is there tension in the body? Is there tension in the mind? And if you discover any tension, just to bring presence and awareness to the tension. Welcome the tension. Nothing to do with the tension. Just to notice, or whether that tension feels like a contraction or a protection or a holding. As the natural breath comes in, just breathing in light frequencies and letting those light frequencies just head towards the tension. Whether the tension is mental, whether the tension is in an area of the body, whether it's just a holding pattern of how you hold your face or your shoulders or your spine, almost as if you're just letting the light just illuminate. Oh, my jaw is holding. Let it go, right? Just to allow any tension that is being noticed just to soften in the light of awareness. Just noticing, in a way, your posture of how you're sitting. Just noticing, are you relaxed? Is there tension? Noticing what's happening in the belly. Is there relaxation? Is there tension? Is there bloating or digestive discomfort? Just to notice. How is the heart feeling right now? Does the heart feel soft and open? Or does the heart feel like it's holding tension or processing something? Is the heart tender? Are there emotions moving in the heart field? Just to notice and be awake to yourself. How are your shoulders? How is your neck? Just to notice if there is tension or holding. Do you tend to sit in a certain way, tip to the left or the right, tip forwards, tip backwards, slouch, just not giving any kind of evaluation, but just noticing, just illuminating and just being with yourself. Noticing your feet, are your feet relaxed? Are they soft? Are they warm? Are they cozy? Noticing your legs if they are relaxed. And just as you bring awareness, just notice that you might find a deeper relaxation naturally happening effortlessly. What about the arms and the hands? As the shoulders maybe soften a little more, where are the hands resting? Are they gripping? Are they holding on to anything? Or are they soft and open and yielding? Noticing the jaw, noticing the ears and the capacity for receiving and listening. Is listening the same as hearing? Noticing the face and the scalp, the head. Are you aware of the brain? Is there activity in the brain? Does it feel busy? Or does it feel relaxed? Just letting the mind soften and relax. Let it drop down into the heart space, the heart field. Let any mental tension just drop into the heart field where it can be held and processed. Nothing to think about, nothing to do, nothing to understand. Just to be here and just being awake and aware of the body. Be aware of where you are sitting and the felt sensation of your sitting, where your body meets the seat. Feel the sensation. Can you actually find a different sensation for your body and the seat? Are they two different sensations? Just to notice, just to be awake. Is it perhaps just one sensation? It's a profound entry point to the field, to feel that, is there actually a boundary between you and the seat in the field of feeling sensation, in the field of texture, of information, of intelligence? Is there a boundary? What about if you bring your aware, awake attention to the feeling of the skin of your body and where it touches the space around you? Can you find a separation? Can you find a divide between your skin and the space around you? Just to be curious, no definite answers, but just open curiosity, just feeling, sensing. Is the space inside you the same as the space outside of you? What happens when an inhalation comes in? Just to watch. What is it that enters you? What is the breath? Are you breathing in the space around you? Why do you feel so full of empty space? And what happens when the breath is released and that empty space is given back to the space around you? What an intimate dance as space enters and space leaves. What does space entering on the breath bring to you? We hear that it brings prana or chi or life force. What actually is that? Can you actually feel life force entering you on the breath? Do you feel an exchange of life force, of light, of energy? What do you notice? In all of these curiosities and observations and inquiries, what are you actually aware of? Are you aware of different sensations? Are you aware of different answers, different possibilities? Or is the sense of being aware a felt sense of aliveness and presence that is always the same everywhere? Just to notice, what are you actually aware of? What is the felt sense of just being here? How do you know you are here? Are you sure you are here? Where do you go to find out that you're sure you are here? And what are you that is here? Where you can feel the sense of just being, a sense of knowing that you are here, like existence itself just being here. And just resting, relaxation, is the sense of being here. Is that your personality and story? Is it included? When you're just resting in the being, is there a story? Just opening to the intelligence and the aliveness of what you actually can find as a reality. Just to be curious, to just be here now, open and curious. What is happening now? Nothing to track, nothing to understand, just to be here and allow the natural relaxation and softening of just being here, doing nothing, and yet being in the richness of the intelligence of your own consciousness as a landscape that is wide open for exploration. What do you know of yourself right now? What do you know of yourself that never changes? If you go towards something that you know of yourself, find out, does that change? Is that constant? And if it's constant, just put that aside for a moment and find out what is here that is always the same. You can't get it right and you can't get it wrong. This is just an adventure, an exploration, a curious tour into the depths of your own intelligence, just to discover a little more wideness of what you know yourself to be. Are you inside the body? Are you outside the body? Where are the boundaries of what you are? Do you feel a sense of expansion when you open to the field of presence? Do you feel the field of presence is inside the body, outside the body, inside and outside? What is it that is looking? Just to feel the relaxation and the softening. Is there anything that you're aware of that is trying or efforting? Is there anything that you're aware of that feels like it's not being successful or that it doesn't understand? Are you aware of anything that is making yourself wrong? Can the light just illuminate those places and allow a deeper relaxation, a deeper softening into just simply being here? Mm. So we know the felt sense of being the being, opening to the field of light, opening to the field of presence and grace, the field of blessings. Mm. In the resting and the relaxation, just opening to receive. The intelligence that you are is the intelligence that is upgrading and recalibrating your consciousness, your nervous system, is allowing your nervous system to be intelligently realized by you for the incredibly profound antenna and transmitter that it is. how your nervous system is the access to the consciousness. It is your consciousness, the field of consciousness. And so as the nervous system is, in a way, through relaxation, it regulates out of the stresses and anxieties and tensions that can be associated with life. The nervous system just relaxes into the full field of consciousness. You can feel that relaxation where the nervous system just lets go. And as the nervous system lets go, you naturally start to feel the expansion into the fuller field and landscape of your own consciousness. Just being the being. That it doesn't matter where you are, who you are, what you are. All you know of yourself is just simply being here, just as you are. Mm. Mm. To notice the silence, the stillness, the omnipresent nature of the field, always present, present to itself, just as you are present, always present to yourself, opening beyond the ideas of what you are and who you are as a mind, body, and personality, and opening to the intelligence where we access the frequencies of love and openness, where we access the frequencies of light that are intelligence. And that intelligence, as we access it, it starts to flow within our whole sense of being. It starts to flow and recalibrate and reorchestrate the consciousness to be able to know itself in a more refined way. And that felt sense of knowing yourself as wider, more expansive, more subtle, more true, and just opening to yourself. Nothing to understand, nothing to make sense of, because it's all happening in the consciousness, in the nervous system, and in the intelligence. All of these words are exactly the same thing. It just feels like a greater relaxation, a greater softening. A releasing of tension, both superficial and deep. A relaxation of the tension that is superficial in the mind body, as mental, emotional patterns and patterns of holding in the body, and deeper tensions releasing of deep conditionings and unconscious patterns of holding and protection. Deeper relaxation of the holding patterns that create a sense of limitation and division and separation. Just resting. Allowing the frequency of God, of grace and glory to move as an intelligence that is recalibrating the instrument, the vehicle that you are, bringing online more subtle awareness, a greater recognition of the connection to source, to essence, to the divine, a greater recognition and openness that you are in constant communion with your higher self, with the one self, with the divine, open to receive the flow of grace and intelligence as guidance and direct knowing, open to receive the play of life as a playground of initiation, open to receive activations as you are resting and relaxing, that different codes of light and frequency are being activated and brought online, so that the capacity of your consciousness is just being used, more of its fullness is being used. And it feels like a greater subtle awareness, a more subtle knowing in the heart of the being itself, a greater subtle knowing of yourself without needing to qualify and understand or interpret, but just a deep sense of relaxed resting in a fuller knowing of yourself, open to grace, receiving the blessings that are being showered, and just opening to the subtle frequencies that are guiding and pointing, bringing insight, the flows of creative intelligence and inspiration that come in the life, all of the ways that we are being lived by the intelligence, and that we're not the divided personality, that we are a field of intelligence, and we are all flowering uniquely, and grace and glory is in absolute support of our ultimate supreme flowering uniquely. And as we open to the unified field and the knowing of our place in that field that is unified, is one, of our belonging and of our innate flow in that field as part of the ebb and flow and dance of life, that we can allow ourselves to blossom uniquely from the wellspring source of the unified field of our conscious knowing, our conscious recognition, recognizing that we use this cognizing capacity, which is not a mental understanding, but the cognition is a tapping into the intuitive and subtle resonant frequency recognition of the field of intelligence. So as these words come, they are the transmission that is upgrading and offering through the relaxation a deeper alignment and attunement to your own knowing. Nothing is being given to you from outside of you. You are accessing your inner light and intelligence, your inner consciousness, the consciousness that you are made of. You're accessing a more subtle, finer reverberation of your own heart's knowing. And in that, you are available for grace to come in, take up residence in your heart, your cells, every fiber of your being, and bring the codes, in a way, the codes that are like keys, and the keys crack the codes of the dormant parts of your consciousness and unlock the capacities and the resonances of your own consciousness, so you start to feel a natural sense of being expanded. So through the sense of the body and mind, it feels like expansion. But from the sense of being the infinite unbounded field, it feels like relaxation. And there's like a meeting of that sense of expansion and that sense of relaxation that allows the intelligence and the flow of the unified field that knows itself, that loves itself, to start to flow as flows of bliss that just loving love starts to flow in your cells and your veins and your systems and every fiber of your being, as a loving intelligence that is awakening and bringing online the illumination through the fullness of the field of consciousness, and is bringing the light and intelligence into the cells and fibers of your body to rejuvenate and upgrade the body, to be more luminous, more awake, brighter, more brilliant, bringing a capacity to be the light that illuminates, be the light that is the intuitive knowing and intelligent flows, to access the light that you are as a field of intelligence. And your nervous system is being upgraded and is plugged in as you open, as you rest and relax. It's like being plugged into the mothership. And you feel a sense of relaxation, of like soaking in the light and warmth of an embrace that is unconditional. And you feel yourself so wide, so vast, boundless. And you feel yourself so present, timeless, eternal. That you are held, you are so held. You are so safe. You are so loved. You are so incredibly blessed. And in this relaxation, the recognition of this truth, and that the access to this deep divine nourishment is always here. It is just to infuse through relaxation, to infuse through bathing in the light frequencies, in the silent presence field of being yourself. To be yourself is to relax into yourself, not to fight to prove yourself in a world that is a play and a reflection of your mind, right? That your waking dream and your living dream are all a reflection of the same data and tensions and holdings of the unconscious. And there is like a living reality that is happening simultaneously. And it's as if we can be in the frequency of the living reality, open as love, as being, or we can be in the sense of living in the fear frequency, in the dream of separation. And they're happening simultaneously at different frequencies, like different frequency dimensions, and yet they're interwoven. So we have a kind of seamless dance, and yet we start to really know when we are in the living reality, because we feel free and light and love and creativity and inspiration. And we just feel a sense of unboundedness, a sense of not being trapped by ideas and concepts and limitation, that we can just feel that we're moving in a different frequency. And this frequency dimension of reality is the new paradigm, right? And it will feel like sometimes we're in it and we're dancing. Are we dancing backwards and forwards? And in a way, what's happening is that refinement of the nervous system and consciousness is happening as if we are moving backwards and forwards constantly between dimensions. And in a way we are, but it's all happening seamlessly and simultaneously. There is no loss as we open to live in the dimension of love and wholeness and the glory and grace of eternal God. We are really just accepting the Christ light that's always been within us. We're just accepting the light. We're receiving the light and opening to the Christ consciousness, the cosmic consciousness and cosmic universal intelligence that we are. We're really just accepting the God-given gifts that have always been here instead of resisting them. And so we're allowing then ourselves just to be rewired and upgraded. And that rewiring is really just removing the protections and conditions that we can be holding. And that rewiring rewires us into the frequency of the Christ consciousness, the Christ light, the cosmic consciousness, where we know our unbounded nature through the intelligence, through the felt sense of being the being. And there we feel the unboundedness. That we receive the grace of our true nature. In a way, as a child of God, we receive our belonging to God and glory, to wholeness, to the divine, and we open to the frequencies of purity and innocence and the untaintedness to start to really shift through our systems, and just like a little Pac-Man, just start to just move around and just munch away. Oh, all the protections. I just felt a little munch there. Maybe you might feel a little munch as well, as as that light just starts to just rip through all of the systems and just unravel and untangle, illuminate and recalibrate. And in that, just bring a greater relaxation and a relaxation into the heart's knowing, a softening. There's nothing to do, there's nothing to understand, just to be yourself. Like, how beautiful could that be? How beautiful could you be? How pure and innocent could you be if you were to open to maybe just see the brilliance of your own radiant heart, if you were to open to see and catch the gaze of your divine self, and to let that light in that gaze just to illuminate the fullness of your heart, and to embody that light, to embody that radiance, to really live as it, to not be shy of it, to not be shy of your own radiance, to not be shy of the fullness and the glory and beauty of who you are. Not be shy of sharing your God-given gifts right on the surface of life. Not be shy of expressing yourself in the fullness and beauty and truth of who you are. What's happening now? Just resting in the deep relaxation and receiving yourself, receiving the flows of recalibration and illumination. Just resting in the deep relaxation of just being yourself. Just infusing here, allowing the alchemy of light to transmute, transform, and upgrade. That when you can feel the sense of peace or bliss, deep relaxation, the light frequencies are flowing. Bliss and light are the same, and so the bliss body, the light body, is coming online, being activated, and we're becoming more aware, more naturally aware of the bliss body, feeling the flows of bliss, of joy. And they might feel just like a flow of like deep, soft relaxation, or it might feel kind of ecstatic or rapturous, joyful and happy, or just like spontaneous inner laughter or smiling. Just being tickled from within. This incredible embrace of silence that is so soft and compassionate and all-encompassing, and yet so incredibly powerful. Can feel the power return as a sense of feeling centered in yourself and aligned in yourself. Because being centered and aligned, you are attuned and receiving. In a way, you're being resourced from the source, and you can feel the power of that, the divine power, as if it's coursing through your veins and systems and cells, bringing vital life, rejuvenation, and creativity and inspiration. When we are aligned in the heart, we also recognize that we are fully supported. In a way, if things feel in the life out of alignment or that we're not supported, it's usually a nudge to bring us into a greater alignment with our heart. Because when we are aligned in the heart, we feel the support. We recognize the guidance and grace and the insights that come in, and that we're in the flow of life as the flow of life. Because in a way, that flow of life is flowing through our nervous system, through all of our systems. It's flowing into us as breath, right? It's animating us. The breath of life is animating the flesh, the puppet, right? With divine inspiration and life. When we just really open to feel this, the technology of how we are given life through breath, how we open to the infinite through breath. We can bring focus to breath, to quieten the mind, to bring a busy mind to focus upon the breath, settles the mind. Because in a way, the mind is that wind energy, that energy that just keeps moving, right? So just to settle the mind, to ground the mind into the heart's knowing, into the presence field, where we are feeling and sensing. Feeling and sensing allows the mind to stabilize, allows the nervous system to regulate by plugging into the presence field. Into the sense of natural calm and serenity. And then always from here, as a sanctuary, we can look upon whatever feels discordant, whatever feels like it is out of alignment, we can look upon, shine the light, and receive the discordance, right? We don't want to push away the discordance or numb ourselves from the discordance, but to receive whatever feels discordant in the field by illuminating, receiving, feeling, sensing, really being with the aliveness and the frequencies of what do discordant frequencies feel like? Do you feel a difference between the frequency of being and the frequency of discordance? Right? How do you know in the field if there's discordance? Through the feeling and sensing. Just to open to the intelligence of being able to be aware and be awake to yourself. Because the more awake we are to ourselves, the more we can rest deeply into that which nourishes us and allows us to access the intelligence from where we can move as life to navigate life, right? What are you noticing? What is happening now? just to be awake to yourself and be aware and to take a little aware inventory. Because as we deepen into the field, yes, we're opening into a sense of expansion in the field of being, but we remain connected. So it doesn't matter if our eyes are open or closed. We want to be able to access the fullness of the field that is unbounded and transcendent, and simultaneously, as one embodied fullness, access the mind, body, and the moving, changing dance of the emotional field, the mental field, the physical field, right? We want to be open to the fullness so that we can use the intelligence to dance. And we're not just opening to the transcendent and feeling like we're away from the lived human experience, and we're not feeling like we're in the lived human experience and away from the awake field, that we're opening to the full spectrum of being able to navigate the full spectrum of our lived experience by opening to the intelligence through the nervous system, through the consciousness. And we don't need to know or understand anything because it's already here. We're just opening to, in a way, reconnect the wires that feel like they've been unplugged. We're just reconnecting those wires. And as those wires reconnect, in a way, maybe it's more like a kinked hose being unkinked. And then more of that life force and divine nourishment, the light frequencies and codes of our own wholeness start to be able to be accessed through recalibration and profound upgrades to our nervous system that shift the whole perspective of our consciousness to being able to recognize the unified nature of our being and see through the illusion and dream of separation, so that we can be living more fully in the dimension of reality, and in a way leaving behind the dimension of fear and division. And there's no loss, because it's all a seamless unfolding. So resting here, what is happening now? Resting as one field, a field of wholeness, of love, a field of transmission, of light that is transmitting frequencies within the flow of itself, in the flow of intelligence knowing itself, a field of transmission of that knowing is flowing within itself, bringing that knowing online. Mm. being with yourself, receiving the nourishment of being yourself, just resting, nothing to understand, nowhere to get to, just resting deeply in the fullness of yourself. That as you open to the field of being, you recognize that the unified field includes the body and the mind, that you're not identified at the body-mind, you're identified with wholeness. And so the body-mind can relax. As the body-mind relaxes, the cosmic mind and cosmic body start to take over as an essential knowing in the intelligence. It's all about the perspective of seeing and the subtle, refined perception within the intelligence of consciousness, where the knowing of the heart is just an unquestionable, unfathomable, glorious recognition. Being awake to yourself, what are you noticing? Being aware of the aliveness, being aware of the awareness, being aware of the being. Mm. 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 And just resting here, just resting in this deep relaxation, allowing the eyes to open, wiggling the fingers and toes, and just feeling that sense of being embodied, not disappearing outwards, but discovering the fullness, the full expanse, and yet being aware right here at the point of the fullness of the infinite boundlessness, and yet being aware and awake right here, feeling the coordinates of your seat, of your feet, of your hands, of your spine, of your head, of your face. It's feeling the coordinates of yourself and recognizing that felt sense of beingness, just being here, being the fullness of yourself. Mm. Just notice what is being noticed. As you come back to awareness of the body, is anything lost? Can you feel the sense of presence, the sense of embodied presence, where you can feel yourself as the presence, but you can feel yourself fully here? awake and aware of everything that's here in the field, not trying to get away from anything, like multi-dimensional embodied presence. Mm. Feel the peace and the simplicity, the stillness, the silence. Mm-hmm.